Zealand is reeling tonight after the South Island city of Christchurch was rocked by a magnitude 6.3 earthquake.
I was at the university when the earthquake hit. I switched the TV on and I was looking at the footage of the center city and bang, I saw the CTV building sign on the floor and it's all dust. I couldn't see even the building.
Man Al-Kazi's wife Maysoon was working at the medical clinic on the 4th floor.
So obviously the worries start to build up until I just couldn't stand it, so I drove all the way to the CTV building. And I saw fire, smoke coming out of the building. And I saw that the building is actually, there's nothing left of it, just rubble. And I said, oh God, this is not happening. She doesn't deserve this.
This is where Man's wife and 115 others lost their lives. Six months after that horrendous day, the CBD is still in ruins, under army control and in lockdown. Near the earthquake's epicentre in the town of Lyttelton, there's also a lot of rebuilding yet to be done.
Things have been shored up. I mean, I'll show you through. When you were here, we had a ton of bricks, because I remember you had to run out because the bricks were in the ceiling.
I first met John Selwood just days after the disaster.
Because this is the bedroom. Be careful, that chimney is about to go, so rush through here, rush through there. That's the roof.
Bloody hell.
And that's the heart of family, isn't it? The hearth.
John and his wife Helen are still struggling to put the pieces back together.
They came out of the ceiling there, wall's been pushed through, propped up.
And you put that propped up there?
Yep, bit of sagging. But that means we've really no heat in here, which may seem a small thing, but it's a big thing when you've got the snow outside. Everything's on pause. You've got to wait till the money comes through for the insurers to pay. If I go fixing that, there's no guarantee that I'm going to get it, paid out, or that I do something that's structural. So you just wait,
Right, and
so
this has been 6 months.
Yeah.
Now, when we were here last time, John, we had a few, quite a lot of aftershocks.
Yeah.
You remember we rushed out?
There comes a point. Okay, move. I think it's 7,500 earthquakes since September.
7,500 earthquakes.
Yeah, I mean they call them aftershocks, but if you feel them, they're an earthquake. It doesn't matter if they're an aftershock. You get to a point where you go, normality. It's going to be okay, and then one of these buggers comes through and just whacks not just the buildings but confidence.
What about the pressure on relationships?
You come to those very crucial kind of, I love you and we're going to see our way through this, or it's too hard and I'm walking away. You have to face those kind of things, I think. This here, see, we think in a different way. Helen collected china and she spent months, for her psychologically, going through each of these pieces like a jigsaw and trying to make them fit back together. It's been part of how she has coped with putting her world back. This represents her broken life, yeah. and for her, it's been a process of putting it all back together.
Back in Christchurch, and the mammoth job of putting the CBD back together is underway.
They're not actually agreeing to sell us their house. They're merely agreeing that we can talk to their insurance company to get information about...
Roger Sutton is in charge of the recovery and rebuilding effort. But before reconstruction can start, 1,200 buildings need to be demolished in the CBD alone. It's going to be a long time before the city centre is anything like it used to be.
After the first quake, I think people felt a lot of those significant historical buildings were going to be able to be saved. As time has gone on, we've had further aftershocks. A lot of those buildings have suffered more damage, and it's getting increasingly hard to save them. It's going to be 6 months or a year before a lot of the fundamental services are really back to normal. But the full rebuild, getting everything back to normal, whatever normal is, that's 5-10 years away.
This work will grow the GDP of New Zealand by several percent. We're entering a boom period and we'll need more workers.
Mayor Bob Parker is determined to see the positives.
So the board is supportive of having a shared community facility in that area.
Well, it's just great to see the initiatives that are being taken. Well done.
At this council meeting, residents are sharing their ideas on how they want their new city to look.
Over 106,000 people have put ideas down out of a population of, in the city of 400,000 people. Tremendous response.
But out in the suburbs, people are feeling left out and are getting frustrated.
The whole house is sort of just broken in half.
That's the wall, isn't it?
Yeah. And that crack actually goes right through there. It's contingent on...
That's the crack up there?
Yeah. Running down through the wall, goes through the next room and right through the other side of the house now. Yeah, so we don't sleep upstairs there now because it's sort of just doesn't feel safe.
While Andy Horsebrone's house may not be safe, the government has zoned his land green, meaning that it's stable and secure to rebuild on. But Andy isn't convinced.
There's not a hope in hell that I'd ever build here again if knowing what I know now. I can still show you underneath where we're standing here now. It's actually full of silt right up to the floorboards. You get wound up, then you don't sleep too well. And so sometimes you think, God, you feel like you're sort of having a good cry there, but you mean to be a bloke, so get over it. But it's not that easy to get over. That's red.
Well, the government has effectively zoned land in Christchurch either red or green.
Andy's neighbour Matthew Page is angry he has missed out on compensation by just a few metres.
But this house is in close proximity just across the street here, which have been zoned red, which means they are getting a payout based on their government valuation.
What, to leave those homes there, over there, and walk away from them?
That's right.
With a cheque so they can start their lives again.
That's right. And we're just literally based across the road and we're green, and for some reason they've deemed that our land is safe to rebuild on.
That means he misses out on the government's red zone offer, leaving him hundreds of thousands of dollars worse off than his neighbours across the street.
How could it be just over there on one side of the street and not on the other? Explain that if you can.
Well, there's always going to be a line. There's always going to be a line where the land has been judged to be, engineeringly sound, and a line where the land isn't actually good enough. People are wanting to know, can they appeal the valuations? Yes. Can they take their marble bench top with them? Yes. Can they pick up their whole house and take it somewhere else? And at the moment, we just don't have answers to some of those questions.
Do you want to get out of here?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I don't want to get out of Christchurch, but just want to be able to get on with our lives and move to an area which has better quality land or better quality soil that's not going to liquefy every time there's an earthquake.
As well as the red and green zones, there's another, the orange zone, an in-between category, where frustrated residents are still waiting to hear the fate of their land. It includes the suburb of Kaiapoi.
But you can feel it as you walk in.
It's sloping all down, isn't it?
Yeah, it goes downhill.
The foundations of Beck Hart's house have shifted.
Well,
is it safe?
Well, I presume so.
You don't really know?
Well, I don't know, because I haven't seen any reports, anything. Hopefully it's safe, because it's myself and my two kids.
Yeah.
But we just don't know.
But as Beck and her friend Cindy show me, in the abandoned house next door, the story is even worse.
Smell. You just can smell it, it's just nasty.
Oh, that does smell, doesn't it?
Yeah, rather right.
Look at that, that's amazing.
Oh, there's a hole there.
Good.
Growing up in Kaipoi, it's hard to see your hometown like this.
But you do have faith and you do care that things will obviously get better. They'll have to, won't they?
Well, they've got to. They can't get much worse.
No.
To be honest, they can't get much worse. We'd like to see everything get better, but it takes time. They do say good things come to those who wait, but
How long do you have to wait? Yeah.
This is like, about a couple of years.
While some are waiting for answers about the future, many are still hurt by the failings of the past.
But the CTV building has failed in its design, failed in its construction, failed in its inspection, and failed in its maintenance as well. My wife was not happy about the building at all. It was full with cracks and the building was shaky when trucks passes by. On what basis they decided that this is safe for people to occupy? There's no answer.
A royal commission is currently investigating the collapse of the CTV building.
Yeah, well, this is the one that is the last picture for us.
Professor Man Al-Kazi fled his native Iraq for a safer life in New Zealand. But even with his tragic loss, he's determined to stay.
Maysoon loved Christchurch, and this is why we stayed here for 16 years. She loved the city centre, so we hope that Christchurch will be rebuilt. And I want to make sure that something like this will never happen again. It will not happen to my daughters.
Some of these businesses have reopened. These guys are open, which is nice to see.
John Selwood walks me down Littleton's main street to show me how the town is pulling together.
And the big bit of plastic flapping in the breeze there, that is the local coffee shop, if you like. They lost the building, relocated round the corner, another earthquake, lost that building, and now they've relocated into a garage. So it's that sense of resilience, we're not going to give up. Oh, look at this. This used to be the giant, the heart, if you like, the theatre, and it's just gone. And in its place, this is kind of local artists and so forth, they have put up that, and if you work out the Marine Flag Code, it's actually a poem by James K. Baxter. Ride easy, stranger, surrender to the sky your heart of anger.
Christchurch's heart of anger is giving way to a spirit of determination. 6 months down the track from the major earthquake, another major one in June. Some people have been saying they think, in a crude way, that Christchurch is stuffed. What do you say to that?
No, it's bloody not stuffed. I mean, a community is not its bloody buildings. You've been round, you've seen it. I mean, do you think it's stuffed? Do you think people have given up? They haven't given up.
No, they're very positive.
Yeah, and that is what counts. This is home, it'll be rebuilt. We're in transition, we'll be back. And I mean, I don't say that for PR, I say it because we love this place, we're going to be back.